Hey guys, it's Rebecca Berstadt. In today's video, I'm going to be swatching the BH Cosmetics Sagittarius palette. This is the last palette in this series that they're going to release, and when my friend Sylvia told me that it was out on their website, I about freaked out. This is a beautiful color story. I have done many looks with this palette so far. As you can tell, there's shimmer stuff all over it. I will be talking about each of the shadows while I swatch them, about how they work, how they perform, any issues that I've had with them, and things like that as I do these swatches. So if you're interested in seeing these swatched out on my arm, I will also leave links down in the description box as well as up in the cards as to videos that I've done with this so far. So keep watching. I'm going to start off, this is what I call shade 1. So if you ever see like my description boxes, it'll say, look, I won shades 1, 3, and 8 or whatever. That's what I'm talking about when I call them by a number. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 here. So we have a matte and 2 shimmers. Now this second shimmer in is super, super, super chunky. Also has iridescent glitter in it. And the third shade also, it's like a cranberry color. It's also super chunky as well. Now this looks patchy on the skin. I will be doing double swatches, but honestly, it's not that patchy when you blend it out with a brush. And I do have a couple of brushes pulled so I can do brush swatches as well. And it's not quite as cold today as it was the other day when I was doing swatches, so hopefully I can get some pretty decent video outside. Now you can see that there's some fallout on my arm. There's also fallout on the counter from the second shadow. It is very, very glittery. This is actually a very nice like plum shade. All right, now going into the next one is going to be difficult to see on my arm because it's basically my skin color. Then we have 5 and 6, which is a beautiful like dusty mauve shade. And it has a cat hair in it. That's just, you know, lovely. There are the swatches on my finger. I did try and pick up as much as I could on this one, so it looks a little chunky, but that's because it's basically a smidge peacher than my natural skin tone. This one here, as you can see, is a little bit on the chunky side, but it's this beautiful like mauve rose gold shade. And then we have the mauve shade, which actually looks very sad in a swatch, but it's beautiful on the eye. There you go. That's a better representation of that color. Now for the last 3 shades. Now this is actually a more purple version and a little bit darker than this one here. Then we have this really pretty lavender shade and then the center shade. There are the colors on my finger. And this feels like the baked shadows from like the Galaxy Chic palette or the Aurora Lights palette. It's very similar in consistency to those. Trying to remember what color I needed to start with. As you can see, it's just a little bit darker than the shade next to it. And then this lavender shade does actually get a little bit darker when you build it up. This has silver and purple and pastel blue glitter in it, that center shade. All right, let me clean my fingers off one last time and I will do some brush swatches for you guys. Okay, so here I have a, this is actually a new brush. This is from, I will have to link it. I just got it in my Ipsy glam bag for the month of December. It's actually a highlighting brush, so I'm picking up the color on the brush for the highlight shade in the center, and I'm going to do it in my elbow on purpose. It leaves, and I have very, very fair skin. Now, all over the counter, there's glitter. You can see the glitter in it, and if you look, there is pigment behind that glitter. So be very careful using this. Do not flick your brush or it will get everywhere. It is a purple highlighter, and there's a lot of glitter in it, but you can put this on and blend it out. Even on something as fair as me, can get away with using that color. Now, this actually is the brush that I used with this shade up here. That's why I pulled it. With shade number 1, I find that if you take the shadow, let's see if I can zoom you guys in. If you take the shadow and you tap it and then swipe, and I do this on my eye as well, I will tap it first to get the color started, and then I will blend with the brush. It doesn't look as patchy on the skin. It is a dark shade, but there is so much pigment behind it that, you know, you just need a small boop into the pan in order to get this shade to work. Now I want to take a fluffier brush into that mauve shade that looks, you know, a little patchy. So I'm going to pick some of that up. This is a BH number 6 brush. I'm going to put this right here. Now, it doesn't look like much. It's like a sheer wash of color, but you can build it. And it blends so effortlessly. Like literally on the eye, this blends so easily, and it's not patchy or weird at all. So here we have all of the shades from this palette and a few brush swatches. And I have glitter all the way up here on my arm. But this is a beautiful palette. I'm enjoying it so far. I really kind of wish that these, this is how that 39S Such a Gem palette from Morphe performed. All right, so here is the outside in the shade swatches for the Sagittarius palette, just so you guys can see what it looks like. And there's a cat. Oh, punked him in the face. And then I'll be doing direct sunlight swatches here in just a second. Cat. All right, here we are in direct sunlight, and I can't see a darn thing. Because I enjoy this formula so much better than the Morphe formula. Also, I enjoy these colors. They are very similar to what is in the 39S palette, and I might do a comparison swatch video to see how many of these shades are similar to that palette. I mean, granted, I only have 9 shades here, and the other one is 39 shades. But I find that these blend so much easier. They don't ever look patchy on the skin when you work with them. The pigmentation is there. They don't really like stain like weird freaking colors when you go to wash them off. These are just beautiful shadows all around, and I enjoy them. So I'm sad that I was unable to get the Leo palette, the Libra palette, and the Scorpio palette, but I'm glad that they went ahead and released this, and now they have a crystal gem palette out, but it's only at Ulta. So I don't know how I feel about that. I do want it, but it's only at Ulta. I can't buy it from BH. And the whole idea of me buying from BH is to buy more than one thing at a time. I get to save money buying from BH. They have awesome sales all the time. You never know when things are going to be like, you get a free gift or free shipping on like orders 25 or more, or $40 or more. You could get like palettes for 50% off. There's so many great deals that they have, and there are other palettes and stuff that BH has that I would like to buy that are already on my wish list, but the new Zodiac Crystal palette, which I will find a picture and stick it in here somewhere, that I wish was on the BH site, but it's not, and I don't think it will ever be on the BH site, so that's a little saddening. But anyways, this is a beautiful palette. Hopefully you guys enjoy this swatch video, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. Bye.